Greetings, my fellow brothers and sisters, and welcome back to Inkari. It's time. Today we are diving into the EFF's bold rejection of the ANC's proposal for a government of national unity. Why does the EFF prefer a coalition government instead? Let's break it down. I'm Kondos, your host, and in today's episode, we'll explore the differences between a government of national unity and a coalition government, and why Julius Malema and the EFF are firmly against the former. If you are curious about the political landscape of South Africa and the strategies behind these choices, stay tuned.
There was a story of government of national unity. Mandela. We don't do government of national unity. We don't want it. So we want coalition. We don't want government of national unity. We will end up with wrong people.
Fighting for power sharing. When we fight against those, we are doing so because we don't want to share power with him. We are fighting against the church because we don't want to share power with him. People cannot share power with the enemy. The enemy must be crushed. Who knows? Who likes? Who? Come on, son. Who knows? Guitar. Hinanda. Hey, your maruma.
First, let's understand what a government of national unity, or GNU, actually is. A GNU is typically formed during times of national crisis or significant political transitions. It aims to include all major political parties to foster stability and unity. The goal here is to promote national reconciliation and peace, especially in post-conflict or highly polarized societies. On the other hand, a coalition government is formed when no single party has majority in the legislature. It consists of multiple political parties that come together to form a majority and govern collectively. This is driven more by practical political consideration rather than a need for national unity. So why does Julius Malema and the EFF reject the GNU and prefer a coalition government? Let's dive into the potential issues with GNU.
If there is going to be any government that is constituted, it must be based on common core principles, not just convenience of positions and who gets what and what. The core of whatever we're going to agree upon should be the policy issues that seek to undo the legacy and remnants of apartheid and colonialism, which still are a lived reality in South Africa. So we need to then deal with that much more conclusively. So that is basically where we are.
First, a GNU often requires significant compromises on principle and policies. For a party like the EFF, which has a distinct and radical agenda, this could dilute their core message and goals. Second, decision-making in a GNU can be complex and slow due to a need for broad consensus among diverse political actors. This can lead to inefficiencies and gridlock, making it difficult to implement coherent policies. Third, accountability can be a major issue. In a GNU, responsibilities and failures can be easily shifted between coalition partners, making it hard for voters to hold specific parties accountable. Lastly, there's a dominance factor. In a GNU, larger parties like the ANC might dominate decision-making, marginalizing the influence of smaller parties like the EFF. Now, let's look at the benefits of a coalition government, which is why the EFF prefer this approach. In a coalition government, the EFF can negotiate terms that allow them to implement their key policies without compromising as much on their core principles. This helps them maintain their political identity. By being part of a coalition, the EFF can influence government decisions and policy directions more effectively. This strategic positioning ensures that they have a say in governance while upholding their agenda. Clear accountability is another advantage. In a coalition government, voters can more easily attribute successes and failures to specific parties, ensuring clearer accountability. And finally, coalition partners typically have more aligned ideologies, which can lead to more effective governance and smoother policy implementation.
We are opposed to the government of national unity in as far as it resembles what was concocted in 1994. So if you were to check the outcomes of that government of national unity of Nelson Mandela, it had F.W. de Klerk as an executive deputy president. It had Pik Botha as a minister of mineral resources and energy. It had Andre van Niekerk as the minister of land and agriculture. It had some mayor from the National Party as Minister of the Environmental Affairs and Water Affairs. And even he had in social development a minister which came from the apartheid establishment. We do not want to form any part of a government with representatives of the white colonial and apartheid system. And we think now that through fair observation and what got to happen with the Democratic Alliance and all these minority white parties, they represent that agenda. That is why the beneficiaries of the white capitalist and apartheid colonial establishment exclusively funded the Democratic Alliance and all these puppet parties. A lot of resources, hundreds of millions, were invested not just to fight the ruling party, the ANC, to fight against the economic freedom fighters. Where you had political organizations who dedicated their energy, their resources, human capital, and everything else that they dedicated was against the economic freedom fighters. We are not going to form part of any government with the Democratic Alliance. We're not going to sit alongside the Democratic Alliance and Freedom Front Plus in government as the economic freedom fighters. And we are not desperate for positions in government. We're not going to do everything in our power so that we're appointed into cabinet or we become speakers of parliament and all of those things. We're not going to sit alongside the land thieves. We're not going to sit alongside the people who got to benefit unlawfully for very long time from colonialism and apartheid. We're not going to sit alongside them and constitute the government of South Africa. If the ANC wants to choose that route, they can go ahead and do what they did in 1994. And we know what are the consequences of what happened in 1994. Black people and Africans in particular remain on the margins of economic participation in South Africa. Black people more or less stay in the same spaces that they lived under when apartheid had segregated black people to inferior spaces. It's still a lived reality. Racism is still a reality. Poverty of our people is still a reality because of this government of national unity. If there's going to be any government of national unity, there must be clarity of what unity, what are you uniting on? And our agenda that we are placing is that it must be the land question that must be at the center of what unites whatever government is going to be constituted. It must be a common agenda to improve the lives of our people because our people are still on the margins of the economy. It must be an agenda to provide free education. Must be an agenda to protect workers' rights and interests, to enforce minimum wages in all the sectors where they are applicable. That is what the agenda should be all about. It must not just be about position sharing. It must be on principal issues that primarily emancipates and protects the interests of our people. That is the agenda that we are looking into. So you must look into the statement which we issued at the Results Operations Center. We say as the EFF that whoever is going to constitute government with us should have an appreciation of what we stand for. Because there are parties, by the way, who think that what we stand for is irrational, it's madness, that were not even worth entertaining. Remember, we tried before. There are political parties here in South Africa who say that they will never ever meet with the economic freedom fighters. So we say whoever must want to constitute a government with us should have an appreciation of what we stand for as a movement. But two, we also said that because we are expected to constitute a government within the 14 days after the official announcement of the results. We do appreciate as the EFF that there are certain areas in detail on policy that can be finalized later on, but the base agreements should be consolidated. And that is an avowed and clear agenda to pursue an agenda that seeks to undo the legacies and remnants of colonialism and apartheid in South Africa. Must be an appreciation on an approach to the land question, on free education, and all these other aspects that we have highlighted.
In conclusion, Julius Malema and the EFF's preference for a coalition government over a government of national unity reflects a strategic choice to maintain their political identity, influence policy more effectively, and ensure clearer accountability to their supporters. What do you think about Julius Malema's stance on rejecting the government of national unity? Do you agree with the EFF's preference for a coalition government? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Inkari. It's time for more insightful discussions on important political issues. See you next time. Take care.